Hey everybody, Goose and your dummies here, back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about, well, what did I just show? Goosebumps! Disney Plus. The series that everybody fucking hates for some reason, and I don't know why. Well, it does have its cult following, so I guess there's that. And I'm one of those people who kind of like it. But opinions aside, I do have a nitpick with it, and that's the AI writing. Now, let me explain. I don't explicitly think that 100% without a doubt this is written by AI, but this is an assumption that I've had, and this is an assumption I've actually seen, is that people think this was written by AI, and I believe that is actually likely. Even though it's more of a joking thing when people bring it up, I think it actually is possible that Disney Plus Season 1 for Goosebumps was written, or at least partially written, or designed, thought out, or maybe selected stuff by AI. So, I have a couple points, and we'll start off with the main one, Go Eat Worms. Now, the whole theme of the season, for monsters and books, what they were picking was the more popular ones. And at the time, it was popularized because of the show, Go Eat Worms is not even popular, like at all. In fact, it was one of the least popular books from the OG series, I can tell you that. Not even top fucking 30. Alright? Go Eat Worms was not a popular one at all, and they picked it still, which doesn't make a lot of sense in my eyes. In fact, it really doesn't make any sense at all for being a very unpopular book, picking the most popular, and you throw Go Eat Worms alongside Night Living Dummy, Haunted Mask, St. Jesus and I, those are very popular. And even Cuckoo Clock is kinda popular at the time, though I will say it feels weird because it was not the most popular pick for the show, I feel. They could have done something different for those soon, whilst I like those episodes the most. It just feels weird to have Cuckoo Clock of Doom, and especially Go Eat Worms, in a season where the books are supposed to be more popular ones. And I feel like this might have been done by AI, that maybe the writers or whatever didn't really care, like, what monsters were picked. And they decided, alright, let's just ask AI what the 5 most popular books are. They maybe did a shitty Google search and got shitty results because 2 of those aren't very valid. At least Go Eat Worms for fucking sure, because that doesn't make any sense. They didn't have a new reprint, nor was it even a retro tin until now. New one got announced. And it's just very weird. I feel like AI might have had some involvement in picking that one. My next big point is, the incest plotline. The iconic, the legendarily horrible incest plotline. Now, spoilers, it's not really incest, but it's getting damn close, and you can imply where it's going, and that's gross. And they fixed it by the end of the season, but it was still really gross because basically 2 kids were dating and their parents were dating each other. Practically fucking incest. They've had sex. Their parents had sex. They were technically both. The person's mom and dad were technically their mom and dad, and the other person was technically their mom and dad, even though they weren't married, they were fucking, and those 2 kids were making out. It's just gross, alright? And I feel like this was done by AI, because AI is not perfect, alright? It probably overlooked that little thing. And I have a feeling, you know, I overlooked it originally. It took me a minute to figure it out, like, hey, that's fucking gross, that's technically incest. And they did fix it by the end of the season, like I said, but I feel like that's only because they might have realized where that was going, probably after they wrote, like, the first 9 episodes. So they went back and like, oh, shit, we'll just make them break up. Problem solved. Totally weren't doing anything weird beforehand, but alright. I think AI did that, chose that plot line to even happen. They selected that relationship, or at least AI had some helping in that. And the writers really didn't realize that until it was a little too late. Yeah, fuck that plotline, and fuck you, AI, for giving us that horrible, horrible shit. Moving on, I think AI probably selected some of the titles. Alright, You Can't Scare Me kinda makes sense. I believe that's even thrown out there in a line in the episode, and that's fine, but still, like, why? Welcome to Horrorland was clickbait, obviously, they probably chose that, but I feel like Night Living Dummy Part 2 was one of the worst titles, because it's like, why not call it Night Living Dummy 2? Why call it Night Living Dummy Part 2? It doesn't make sense. I feel like AI might have had some part in that for Part 2 title, at least. And not to mention Give Yourself Goosebumps, which AI was just like, hey, we're making a Goosebumps show, throw out that. And it had absolutely nothing to do with the episode, which is even stranger. It was the only freaking fucking title to use Goosebumps, I feel. Well, no, I know. It literally was the only title to use the word Goosebumps, which is even stranger. Very strange. Reader Beware is like whatever, and all the other ones make sense because they're corresponding books. But still, it's just strange that specifically, like, even Reader Beware, specifically Give Yourself Goosebumps and Nightwing Dummy Part 2. They just don't feel right for titles. I mean, they barely have anything to do with the episode. Slappy's in it for like 5 minutes in Part 2. Yeah. Pretty fucking stupid titles, and I think AI might have designed those because they were probably stumped. So they're like, here's the script. Title it, AI. Give Yourself Goosebumps. Bro, okay, we'll use it. It makes perfect sense. AI knows what they know. They know their shit. Totally not gonna fuck up here. Anyways, my next thing, probably final thing, is the writing. Alright, the writing in general is just... What? It feels like this show is easily written by AI. Not even including all the weird incest and the shitty titles and shitty selection of books. Though I did like the selection at the end of the day, it just felt strange when it got announced because it didn't make fucking sense for what they were going for. Still, moving on. It's just like, the writing in general just doesn't feel right. Alright, mate, so we're gonna do a slideshow. Because it's a better way to present all this stuff so I ain't rambling for like 20 minutes. Let's go. Condu. What the fuck? He doesn't possess Slappy in any of the books, and that feels like the most AI-written lore. Like, AI fucked up and didn't realize Condu didn't even possess Slappy, and he actually created him in one of the books, not to say which for spoiler reasons. Whilst Fifi could be a Welcome to Horrorland situation, where it's just capitalized off a popular IP in Goosebumps, I feel like Fifi was shittily wrote in by AI just because they thought, oh wait, Fifi's a mascot, we gotta throw it in. There is no way a human wrote humping our way to victory. Just no fucking way. The Carnival of Wonders was basically Horrorland in episode 10, and I think the AI completely fucked up and fumbled when it was googling Goosebumps theme park. Probably got 2 results since there's a GYG one, and it probably shittily threw it in, or it just didn't know what Horrorland was, or I don't fucking know, it just threw it in not really caring about Horrorland, not knowing, and then the people decided to name it Horrorland because there was a theme park in it. There was a random love plot introduced in episode 7 that went absolutely nowhere and was unresolved by the end of the season, which doesn't make sense to even start it up if it's not going to get resolved, nor even include it, but unless you're fucking AI and doing a shitty job at writing a show. Huh, wonder. At the end of the day, I don't really know if Goosebumps Plus was made by AI, and I can't really say for absolute certain, but I will say I have a high expectation or assumption that there was some sort of not great decision-making behind the scenes. I mean, you can literally tell Going Worms didn't make any fucking sense. The incest plotline was a horrible idea. It's like a no fucking brainer. And some of the titles are dog shit. I mean, I'm pretty sure Horrorland was chosen by humans because, you know, clickbait. I don't think AI knows how to clickbait, but there's Give Yourself Goosebumps, which is like, what? Nothing to do with that series, but okay. Yeah, at the end of the day, can't really tell for sure, but let me know if you think Goosebumps Plus Season 1 was written by AI, and do you think the second season will? We'll just have to wait and see if we get another incest plotline, or worst. God, I hope we don't get worse. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.